A warm and welcome to you all. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to our information session for our quantitative courses here at the K-Phil School of Business and Management. Right, K-Phil School of Business and Management. I'm Sonia Mahan, a lecturer in this K-Phil School of Business and Management, and I'm going to be your hostess and moderator for this evening's information session. We are really proud to come to you from the University of the West Indies K-Phil campus and from the school presenting three of our most competitive programs, most sought after programs within the school, and the coordinator and the director for the K-Phil School of Business and Management will be taking you through the nuts and bolts, so to speak, of the programs this evening. The University of the West Indies K-Phil campus, like all of our campuses, is fully accredited, and so is some of the programs that you are going to be hearing about this evening. So without much further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the director of the K-Phil School of Business and Management. Apologies for my video not being on, just having some technical difficulties from my end, but I will be sure to get that fixed before you hear my voice a little later this evening. So I'm going to invite Dr. Dion Greenwich. Dr. Greenwich, hopefully your video is working while we get my technical difficulties.
Mine doesn't seem to be working either.
Does not want to work, but we are going to get that sorted out.
The host has, which means that it may be in the settings.
Yeah. Right, Ms. Thomas, if you can do that for us. But Dr. Greenwich, I don't want to delay our start. We do have some participants here with us while we get those difficulties sorted out. But rest assured, they will see what we look like before the evening is out.
Okay, so good evening, everyone, again. And so let me try now. So, yes, it's working now. Brilliant.
There you are. Great.
Good evening, everyone, again, and welcome to this webinar information session from the K-Phil School of Business and Management. So, as my dear colleague and partner in crime, good crime, if that is a thing, would have said, I am the Executive Director and CEO of the K-Phil School of Business and Management, which is an integration of what some of you will know as DOMS, which is the Department of Management Studies here at University of the West Indies K-Phil campus, and as well as the Satiko K-Phil School of Business and Management. And this evening we are here to talk about three of our finance programs that reside within this entity: our Msc Finance, our Msc Finance and International, and Msc Finance and Investments, and our Msc Wealth and Investments. Just let me share my screen so that you can see on the screen the programs. So let me do this. So how I want to do this evening is that at some point in time, I'm going to keep running on and giving a lot of information. I'm just going to give the main information. Then I'm going to just turn over to you for discussions led by our moderator this evening, Sonia Mahan, who, as I said, is within the school, and some of you know, I'm sure, know Sonia. And therefore, how I do it too is that if you want to utilize your mic, you can, but then you indicate by your hand, and we will unmute you on our end, so that if you want to have that added engagement with us, you can do so. So as I said, we have a finance suite here in the school, and we are very proud of our finance suite. We used to offer the Msc Financial Management. We no longer offer that program. In fact, we still have cohorts in that program currently, but we have really revised and reinvented that program into the Msc Finance. And I'll tell you a lot of reasons why we have done so, because we like to ensure that we continue to here at the school to graduate, put out there that global student. And you're going to hear me with that thesis all the time. All the time you're going to hear me keep speaking to you in relation to that global student. And when we talk about that global student, what are we talking about? That person who, upon leaving our programs, can soar anywhere around the world, can go around the world, and as we say here, we are our icon here on the campus is the blackbird, and we soar together, we fly together, and we want persons to be able to go there and to really soar over there, and that's what we think of our students. So the Msc Finance, Msc Finance and Investment, Msc Investments and Wealth Management. And the thing about the Msc Finance and Msc Finance and Investment is that these programs were developed in line with, to bring us in line with CFA programming and CFA accreditation. And therefore, to really equip you then with the necessary skills to work in the finance field. But what it does is that it covers, at least, I mean, when you talk about CFA accreditation or CFA alignment or bringing a program in line, what does that mean? That means that your program at least covers 50%, 70% of the criteria. I can tell that all programs cover well over 70% of therefore of the knowledge or the content areas of the CFA, which is their candidate body of knowledge, all right? And they cover that. So we do cover a number of those areas, and ensure that our students are modern, up to date in the finance, in terms of finance, the area of finance, the content, and therefore where persons can go and work and be viable within organizations. The cost of this program is 30,000 Barbados, 15,000 US dollars. And that is the tuition cost. There's also what we call a semester fee or amenities fee on the campus, which is roughly about 280, if my math is correct, roughly around 270, 280 US dollars, and $530, $560. Now, let's talk about the financing a bit more, because I know that's going to be a question that you will come in, and you're free to bring it back up, and we'll chat about it. So let's talk about that a bit more. You can finance, because how you pay for your tuition is really semesterized. We'll be happy to have it all one time, but it's semesterized, and that is then dependent on how you register for courses. So within each semester, you register for a minimum of 2 courses. Some persons, if they're part-time, will register for a maximum of 3. If you're full-time, a maximum of 5 or 6. And what that means is that you pay by credit in that semester. So if your program is 45 credits, and you'll see that in a minute, 45 credits. And what that means is that if you really want to do it yourself, since everyone here is going to do finance, so you have the math skills, so you can work it out with me. So it means that basically, you divide the total cost, in this case 30,000 or 15,000 US, by 45 credits, which will give you roughly somewhere around $666. And then you multiply that by the number of credits, which still roughly a semester you pay $2,000 per course. So if you're doing 2 courses a semester, that's 4,000 plus the semester rate fees. If you're doing 3,000, if you're doing 3 courses, that's about 6,000 plus your semester fees in terms of the 560, 30 or 60 Barbados dollars, convert them to US. So important to know. So yes, you can. And even that, I should add that even within the semester, that fee, that semester cost, you can come in, you can work with it, and you can pay that throughout the semester as well, bringing that semester bringing that semester cost to close at the end of the semester. So there is flexibility, because we recognize that persons want to do it, and sometimes, just anything in life, you need that flexibility. You want that financial flexibility. There is then flexibility in how you're able then to do this, because we make it possible. And that is important, making it possible for you to do this during the semester and do this program here with us at the school. So I said before, this program is really linked to and really align the training as required. So it means that you can then go on, you can do the CFA exam, you can do those CFA exams and qualifications as you are even going through the course. That is important. You can do it as you're going through the course, and that is an added, because that is what we want to do when we do programming. When we talk about creating that global person, that person that can move globally, that person that can move professionally. Because when you think about doing a master's, and I'm taking many of you, you're here this evening because this is specifically geared to all finance masters. I mean, you're interested in your finance, and you want to be able to move in the field professionally. And that is the added value of doing this program. So you can work in many sectors, and what we think is that this program helps students develop, as you see here in my final point here on the slide, students develop the expertise. Right here, students develop expertise in critical areas of finance, including corporate finance, pricing, risk management, financial institutions, and I could even add a portfolio, because portfolio, that's one of the reasons, one of the key areas is portfolio, and you even do your ethics workshop, because you can't be in finance and thinking about even CFA and not have your ethics in there. Your ethics is in there as well. And that brings you into the international job market. So we're thinking about international. So what is the modality? So we offer you this program hybrid. That's the term. What does that mean? Take this program face to face. So come and sit down in front of us. And that's what the kind of technology that we use here. You know, we have here within our school invested in kind of technology that will allow persons. We haven't been able to utilize it as much in the last year or so, because we have been fully virtual because of the pandemic. I always try not to say it, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have been fully virtual. We have been fully online and delivering virtually in a full way. But the hybrid modality means that if you want to come face to face, you come face to face. The lecturer is teaching, and at the same time, because of the technology that we have within the classroom, that is streaming out to that person who don't necessarily want to come face to face that day, or don't want to come face to face at all, but who wants to do the course online, so they can get that instruction online as well, right? So our programs are hybrid. You choose your modality. If you are not in Barbados and you decide and you're working, but you get a week vacation, you say, you know what? I want to spend that week vacation in Barbados, and I'm going to come in and do a couple of evening my classes. Why not? So it is flexible instruction for you. Flexible instruction. However, because the delivery is flexible, some of your examinations may be face to face. What does that mean? Does that mean you're traveling to Barbados? No, that does not mean that. What we do is that we work with the closest examination site to you, and you can take your examination there if it's face to face. And we'll talk more about that as soon as we see you into this program come September. All right. So as I said before, not going through a lot of the fundamentals of the program, but the key areas that are included, which makes it important for your CFA, and makes it important for any quality finance program. We'll be talking about income statements, your balance sheets, your flows, you're looking at capital management strategies, looking at your equity and finance, equity and fixed income security, looking at your empirical analysis, which comes in your financial analysis course, your risk and portfolio management course, and financial engineering. Financial engineering, any of you today understand where we are today, when we talk about big data analytics and the big data revolution, that is not only just in the analytic field and data science, but that transcends organizations. It transcends and the area of that within finance is that financial engineering, which allows one to utilize those techniques to understand pricing methods, to evaluate pricing and other financial elements or aspects as it relates to the area of finance. So, as I said to you before, 45 credits, 18 months, 12 core courses. So what 12 core courses mean? 12 courses that everyone must do. One elective course, and then an applied research project. And why applied? Why not just research project? Again, why you want to be very interested in what we have to offer here. Applied because and as a finance student, we can, some of our programs, you may say do another 2 courses or do alternative courses to a research paper or whatever. But why apply research paper, and why we stick to research paper in finance? Because if you're going to be a financial analyst, if you're going to be in finance, then that research element and that applied research means that you're going into, you're doing research from within an organization that is critical to a particular outcome, a solution base within the organizations. And then we have our 2 workshops we do, not for credit, but mandatory workshops, means that they must be done. And they're normally in Bloomberg. So, hey, how can I forget to tell you this, huh? And just thinking here as even in my assignment, because sometimes we don't brag too much about what we have here in the Caribbean. But we have one of the best modernized business analytics and financial labs in this region. We have a Bloomberg. Within that lab, there are our Bloomberg machines, and so students have skills, and your workshops are in Bloomberg, and you get the skills in Bloomberg. But not only that, because of that extensive lab that we have with Bloomberg machines, you know what else? Because all of our students who are in finance and on campus are able to do their Bloomberg concept certificate. So you're able to do your Bloomberg concept certificate, and in fact, there's when you do the equities course, you do it in that course that Damien teaches. So that's something that just came to mind that I almost forgot to say to you. So here, real value when you do our program here at the campus. So it's not just theoretical at all. But you realize that we are looking at competencies, building competencies, and remember what I said to you before. And I'm not just here selling. I'm being real serious when I said we are about philosophically building that global student, and we want to build that global student because our students, we are proud to say when they go all over the world, and they are sometimes lecturing at other universities. They're working in industry all over the world, and we are proud to see this from our graduates here within the school. So as I said, some of the courses, program structure said, so you got your corporate finance, equity, fixed income, portfolio management, wealth planning, international finance, alternative investment, derivatives, advanced financial engineering, asset pricing, financial reporting and statement analysis, financial econometrics, and we bring our lecturers from all over. We have the lecturers who are local and regional persons, and they're also international persons who are from other international institutions who are happy to be part of our program. And as I said, your workshops are Bloomberg workshops, and then when you think of even the elective, the strength of those electives, finance, analysis, and modeling, computational finance, and you can tell from how I'm speaking, I'm very proud of this program. When you really don't take it from me, because the Jayoni or Mara will be sharing with you documents later on from this, and compare, go and compare to some of the best in the world, and you can see that this program is an excellent program to be part of. Entry requirements, hey, look, basically the standard entry route is that bachelor's degree, and note my language very carefully. The standard one is that bachelor's degree for some of you who are not familiar with lower seconds or upper second class or honors degree, because most universities will see the tell you honors degree. So honors degree, so first class or second class, whether it's 2-1 or 2-2 if you go onto the university sites, as you know. So that is it, and that is the standard. No, and you complete your 2 letters of recommendation. No, it doesn't mean that if you don't have an honors degree that we wouldn't take you. It just means that if you don't have an honors degree and you say you had a past degree, because things happen. People are at different stages. You got that, but we have seen how persons with a past degree have come into the program, have blossomed, and in some cases, may graduate as a top student. So we don't discriminate. What we do is evaluate, and what we do. So you submit your CV. Make sure you submit your CVs, everyone, so we know you. We understand who you are, and then we will call you if needs be, interview you, so then we can then determine your suitability, and then we often would offer that acceptance once you qualify. All right, so a good undergraduate degree. Some persons may ask, does it have to be in finance? We have had persons who did not come from the finance area. Preferably is finance. We have had persons who did not come from the finance area, but again, with your CV, we interview you, we evaluate after that. So apply, let us do our evaluate, link with you, have a chat with you, and then we make a decision from there. Don't question, apply. Don't doubt yourself, I should say. Apply. But there's other routes, because we persons sometimes come. We have persons who may have professional designations and want to have the masters now as a route in. There are persons who may have done years of experience. We have one person graduating this year from our financial management program who she didn't do a degree before, but she has been financial. She has been at a managerial level within a financial institution at a senior managerial level, and kind of done a lot of professional development and so on over time. So I made a CV, at the interview, we accepted her. She's going to graduate this year. So they're entries, but you recognize what I'm saying. When we see that CV, we take the other things that matter into account, that experience, where you are in the organization, etc., into account, and we're able to, make that offer. If you're in doubt, even though Dion said don't be in doubt, there's Marta who's here on the call. You can email her. We're gonna place for you in the chat very soon. The email to the graduate section of the school. Email us, reach out to us, and we'll guide you accordingly. So Msc Finance and Investments. So similarly so I'm not going to go over everything I said before, even though my slides are structured in that way for information purposes. But what I'll say to you is this: similarly, to meet that CFA qualification, a global student, and that's it. Similarly, 30,000 Barbados, 15,000 US. And I forgot to add, that is tuition. That tuition comes with resources, a laptop, and we make sure that we provide a quality machine. And this is our way of giving back to you, saying thank you for coming and being part of us. And we give a quality machine because we want you to be able to do the kind of analyses and work with kind of programming that you have to. So normally like a At this moment, I believe the machine this year is a i5, is a i5 machine, etc. So we do, and other resources, you can get other resources. Now, those resources that are mandatory in some sense for the program. So other resources could possibly be, like for example, the text, maybe a e-text for that course, etc. So we are about providing that experience, that service to you. So if you are, I know some of the things going through your mind, but if you're not in Barbados, if you're somewhere else, well, what we do, we arrange with you, and we get that laptop to you. And obviously, as I said, most of the resources are the ebooks and so on. So that is easier, because obviously we email you the code and so on. And they're not like, you know, when you get an ebook, it's done. We don't buy an ebook for time. You get the ebook. That is your ebook for life. That's your ebook that we purchased for you. So you know, it is ensuring that you have the experience and that you're able to progress, you know, comfortably. Not that everything is going to be comfortable, because, you know, studying is a challenge, and study is always going to be challenging. That is the thing about a quality program, and a quality program. Studying is going to be challenging. Don't let me stand here. Don't let us, you know, feel I'm going to be fooling you here. Not at all. I'm not going to sell you any dreams. But we guide you. We provide that journey for you, that direction that you can take, ensuring that you're able to complete the program. All right. So similarly, as I said, the difference with the finance and investment, and same is hybrid as well, hybrid program. The difference with this program is going to be in the structure of the program. So unlike the finance that you had an elective, this program, you don't have any electives. All 13 courses are core courses, but you do have the same applied research, because remember what I said about the applied research. We want you to get that practical, but yet that research element that is critical for anybody who says they have an MSc in finance. All right. So the structure is similar, but here's where the difference comes in. Difference comes in a lot in the fact that you're going to get a lot more the investment side. So international investments you have there, international tax you have coming into this core. No, recognize that why finance analysis and modeling was an elective in the MSc Finance, in this program, it is a core course. Why? Because you have to be able to model. You're talking about investment, talking about modeling. You're giving people advice. You know, person. You therefore and computational finance, modeling again, because you see where we're going here, because you are now being that professional that's providing that advice, that is able to look at the market, able to give an assessment to the market, and those kind of skills. I told you that we are about delivering quality students. Important, huh? We are about delivering quality students. We are about producing a quality program. And the Bloomberg as well. So somebody would say, but he said the Bloomberg lab, but he said that Bloomberg concepts. Here's the thing, because you can do the Bloomberg concept certificate by logging in online, because of isn't that wonderful? I just think that's just great, and therefore that even if you're not here and hybrid, you know, you're not left out because of our lab, our licenses, and what we have. So that is about bringing that quality to our students. And the same entry requirements as the MSc Finance that I would have discussed before are the same. I'm going to move on so that I get time and ask me questions. I want to give you the whole evening for us to just have a discussion and just talk. So then I'm going to move on then to the investment and wealth management. What's different about this program? It is the order symboling of these programs. Is the order symboling. And it's really around the wealth management, where the other one is very investment oriented and so on. And it is fully online. So this one is fully online, where the other one is hybrid. Potato. This one is fully online. So there's not a face element to this one, but it's fully online. And it has a lot more because of the wealth management aspect of it, rather than the investment, because the other one is finance and investment. This one now is investment and wealth management, because of the wealth management as the element of it. Have a lot more of the taxation courses and so on within this program. So that's the main difference between this one and the finance and investment. And it's not as heavily finance based. Has some finance courses, but it's not as heavily finance based as the finance and investment. Hope I'm being clear, but we'll address a lot of your questions very shortly. 15. What the magic number? 45. What the magic number here? 15. I almost said 45 US, but I was thinking. I had to be thinking about something else. 15,000 US, 30,000 Barbados dollars. That's the magic number here, and everything else that we said apply. You get the resources, etc. So real world experience. I think we want to bring that. Another critical difference in this one is that, as I said before, you have the full online modality, and with this one you get you see that we talk about using Bloomberg to access real talk. Excellent. But this one, you have options. You can do a practicum. So you go into the organization you work, you do a practicum. You can do a research paper, or you can take 2 alternative courses. So why the finance? Because of presenting that global student, and finance is different. So whether somebody who should be graduating at Msc Finance really needs that research component, to really stand out. With this particular program, because it's not finance driven, you can have the practicum, the research paper, and so on, or you can do 2 alternative courses. And 2 alternative courses means that you have all those other courses that we reference above that may not be. You have the option of taking those as an elective as well. So the same entry requirements. So at this moment, I am ready to take some questions, and and we can discuss the program further.
So, yep, here I am. I promised that we'd be both on video. Yolanda has a first question for us. I answered another one in the chats. Daisy had already put in her application and wanted to change now after your presentation to Msc Finance, and I already answered her. But Yolanda's question is a degree in economics acceptable as an entry point for any of the suite?
All of the suite. All of the suite. A degree in economics is acceptable for all of the suite. Any of our finance programs.
Okay, and if I just recap, and Dr. Greenidge, we're going to have to chat because you let out all of my goodies at the beginning of the presentation. I usually leave those to the end for $15,000 US, plus the registration fees, $15,000 for the program. As you put out the challenge, it will be hard pressed to find a program to deliver the quality that we're going to deliver for that price point anywhere in the world. And the added advantage, as you said, we are under the umbrella of the University of the West Indies, which means we are under the vision statement. We are an excellent global university, but very cognizant that our roots are in the Caribbean. So while any of our graduates can stand toe-to-toe anywhere in the world, and we have graduates all over the world, depending on what program they've come through, the one thing that we pride ourselves on is developing solutions by us, for us, and with us in the region in mind. So that's really one of the differences between programs from outside of the region and programs delivered by the #1 tertiary institution in the Caribbean, and one of the universities as accredited as in the top 2.5%, I think it is, Dr. Greenwich, in the world, and that was with the most recent rankings. So not only do you get that type of knowledge base, competency, and skill, but you are always going to be grounded into where you've come from. So no matter where in the world you go. And we know that we are resilient people here in the Caribbean. If you're coming from outside of the Caribbean, then again, you are grounded and you have that added edge, not only to have a degree that is portable once you're finished anywhere in the world, but you have a distinct advantage if you're from outside of the region to be able to address with confidence some of the issues in the region because you have been with us for the 18 months or the 24 months. And depending on the program, you're going to be getting that cross-play not only with your colleagues or networking within your program, but because of the electives and that spread, you're going to be meeting colleagues from your cohorts from different programs within your programs as well, because some of our core courses are shared across programs. So it's not only going to be the finance stream specifically, you're going to get that cross-fertilization as well. Yolanda is also living and working in Guyana. How can she complete the program as a full-time student? And I'm smiling because you had addressed this earlier in your slides with the delivery mechanism or the modality of delivery. So if you want to just repeat that for us.
So we are hybrid. The other terms, high flex. You know the term flex? We flexing, meaning we are flexible. And the idea here is really that you can join face-to-face, but that means you have to be here, Yolanda. But as you are in Ghana, you can join virtually, online. You could do so in two different modalities too. Synchronously, meaning that you can join the live sessions, or the live sessions are posted for you, so you can go back, watch them. But I want to say this too about that, because that doesn't mean that they're going to be up forever. And you will hear your lecturers tell you that, because they want you to make sure that you don't go 5 weeks from now, say the course, the subject matter was this week, and then 5 weeks later, you're not going to look at it. No, we even though you are synchronous and you may follow on your own, from that point of view, we still want you within that week to make sure that you are up to date, on time, and following the class. But synchronous, asynchronous, meaning that, you know, you can follow along. Synchronicity means you can join the live class as it's happening face-to-face, real-time in the classroom here in Barbados. Or you can come face-to-face. But for you, Roland, you have your two options. Synchronously, live sessions, online, or asynchronously.
And one thing I want you to emphasize, Dr. Greenwich, you're not doing a good job selling yourself this evening with those synchronous sessions. They are part of the classroom. And I know because I've sat in on some of your classes, they're not an observer. Students who are joining online, if you're not physically in the classroom, you are engaged as though you were physically in the classroom. Dr. Greenwich, I see what you do with your students, and they are part and parcel of everything happening. You're not a spectator, you're not an observer, you are part of the class. You call on them, they are writing solutions on the digital board as though they were present in the class, and so on. So it is an engaging experience. You are you are integrated. I don't even want, it's even more than integrated, you are part of the class.
You're part of the
whether
class.
or not you are physically in the classroom or you're joining online because of the investments. And this happened pre-COVID. This happened pre-COVID under the leadership of the then head of the Department of Management Studies. I don't know if you know him, Dr. Greenwich. He happens to be the executive director now of the Capefield School of Business. We had just made the investment in the demo system on the campus, and then COVID hit, and we were well placed to start to transition for what we were going to do, and even more so well placed now. So those different modalities allow students to determine, allow you, our future students, to determine which mode you want to be in, and you can switch. There are times, especially given where you are in the organization, you may not be able to get physically to class. That might be your preferred mode, but you may not be able to get out of the office. And rather than missing class or you know, the drive time sometimes can be difficult. Traffic is back. It can be difficult. You can sit in your office and do the class as though you were in the classroom. So you do have that flexibility to move back and forth.
That is right.
Dr. Ganesh, you talked about the $15,000 payment plans. Are any
Yes.
payment plans available?
Yeah, so as I said, even within that semester payment, because remember, so for those who were not online at the time when I was talking about the payment, is that it's semesterized. So given that it's 30,000, and I'm not going to go through all the calculations again, but so I can give a succinct answer to you, there are 45 credits. So if you're thinking 45 credits, it means we're saying that there are 3 credits per course. So basically, one credit costs about $666. That means that one course basically costs somewhere around $2,000 for one course. So in that semester, if you're doing 3 courses, you're already paying $6,000 plus this. Remember, I keep saying plus the semester fees,
yes,
which are separate and distinct from that $15,000 US. No, and that is just let's say 560, 530. I'm trying to remember the exact fee.
It's under 300 US per semester.
It's under 300 US a semester. So, but that 6,000 Barbados, 3,000 US, you can pay that in installments throughout the semester. Isn't that great? So flexibility even in the payment. You can pay that. So you don't have to at the beginning of the semester you say, oh, do I need to have all 3,000 US at the beginning of the semester? No. You can pay that throughout the semester, but you know that becomes due by the end of the semester. That is the critical thing. That becomes due by the end of the semester, but you can pay in your installments throughout the semester. And a lot of persons find that, interestingly, and I'm saying that because a lot of our students, pay that, and I really shouldn't say that and shoot myself in the leg, but I love to get all the money up front. But I know the realities, right? And a lot of our students do it that way in the semester. I know this. They resort to our bursary if it's in the here on the campus or accounts department in the school. We will depend on the program. Here it is, depending on the program, our staff will direct you. Martha and her team will tell you which department, which accounts department you will go to make your arrangements. You just ask us, tell us your program if you need to make that arrangement in terms of paying in installments throughout the semester. Speak to our team in the graduate section. They will guide you accordingly to which accounts department that you will speak to, and we organize it for you. But we do recognize a lot of our students pay, and it's comfortable for them. It works, and you know what? We all get to the end together.
Okay. I have 2 other questions for you. There's a question about the letters of recommendation. Who should be writing the letters of recommendation for the candidate?
It really depends. At least one letter recommendation, preferably. And this is why I say preferably. We often will say should be an academic reference, meaning it should come from your prior or your most recent academic endeavor. However, we recognize that some persons come from different routes. Remember all those different routes I spoke to earlier, meaning that some persons come directly out of professional life, and we interview them and make sure that they're ready for the program and they can handle the program, etc. Those persons obviously will produce 2 professional references. But for others, it could be 2 academic references, or it could be an academic reference and a professional personal reference, but one at least have to be an academic reference.
Okay. And is there for those who are, even those who are part-time, is there are courses delivered in summer? So I know for some of our programs, we do have a semester 3, which is in summer. Is our semester 3 or summer semester part of the programming for our finance suite?
Here's what I'll say to you. Yes, and excellent question, yes. When we think about months, and what I should say to you is that you complete this in a minimum of 18 months, maximum of 24. What does that mean? It means we take months rather than semesterized years into perspective here. So summer is a semester 3, as you were saying, Sonia. And normally persons do about 2 courses in the summer. All right, so think of it in terms of months. So when you start September, you're really going through. You get a break. You get a little break in at Christmas time, about 2 weeks or so, and then you rally on again, and you get to the end.
Okay, so are there 2 entry points? Can they come in September and January for the finance suite?
Yes, they can. They can join September and January. Yeah.
Right. So if you are even contemplating coming in, the very first thing that you need to do, as Dr. Greenwich says, get your application in, particularly those who are on alternate pathways. If you've not come through a traditional academic pathway where you did your undergrad degree, you may have done some technical certificates and so on, and that's a traditional academic pathway, and you've been moving up in the organization, that's fine. But especially for those, and I'm glad that you've left this slide up, for those who have had alternate pathways to your position that you're in now, and you're thinking of getting certified at the graduate level, you need to get those applications in as soon as possible. The deadline is indeed June 30th, but we want you to get the applications in because that allows us to see your documents, for us to hear your story. So that CV, again, gives us an insight into you. The documents that you're going to submit in your application gives us some insight, allows us to schedule, if needed, the interviews, and therefore guide you to how you can get through the program successfully, and so on and so forth. But everybody's case is different. While we can give some general guidance in a session such as this, everyone's individual application may be different, and we want to treat you as an individual. And the way to start that engagement is to get the application in. Once the application comes in and all of your documents come in, then we know your story and we can guide you accordingly as well. One thing I do want you to address, Dr. Greenwich, is the intensity of the program. For those who've gone through undergrad and so on, yes, while the courses are 3 hours engagement per week per course, that is not the sum total of what we are expecting to do at the graduate level. And we do find that we have to alert students to the difference between undergraduate level of study and graduate level of study. I just want you to spend about a minute or so on that, Dr. Greenwich.
Thank you.
I know you told them that you were not going to pull the wool over their eyes and let them think that it was it was an easy road, but I do want you to just spend a minute on that.
Yeah, because I just said, we are a quality program, and I know people normally have the myth, or those at KFL, that they try to make it hard because no. Look, we are about ensuring that our students leave with the competencies to go there. And as you said, rightfully, a master's program is like doubling the work that you did or tripling the work that you did in undergrad. It's really think of it this way. You were once a bachelor. No, you're becoming a master. And what does it mean by mastering something? When you're mastering something, it means that you are now someone we can call on. To say that you have a master's means that you are some person who is saying, I have that level of competence beyond a basic knowledge, beyond an intermediate knowledge. I am into that advanced level of thinking, right? I am the professional. And because of that, it means that in knowledge base. In fact, sometimes we joke. I remember teaching something in the class and teaching a concept, and students would say, but that's not. But it's the same concept, but it seems so different at master's level. And we say because undergraduate level, we tell you one thing, but at the master's level, now we get now into the details, the real underpinning complexities of the understanding of that concept, and how it is applied. Remember what I said, application, how it is applied, the application utilizing, showing how you can use this for real value. And because you're doing 2 things or a couple of things, you are about a number of things, because you are getting the understanding, the comprehension. At the same time, you're at a higher level of taxonomy. You're evaluating, you're analyzing, you're applying.
Yeah.
And therefore, the load is going to be there. And it's a heavy load. It's going to be assignments. And why is it going to be assignments? You'll find that at graduate level, because you can have, remember earlier what I said to you, some of your courses could be face-to-face exams, some could be 100% coursework. And with 100% coursework, It's not necessarily getting one assignment, but the person knows, your lecturers or the course knows you're getting assignments in multiple areas, because again, what we're trying to do, when it's 100% coursework, what we're saying, application, application, application. So you have to really stay the course. But look, there are persons who are working moms, working dads, do this. And at the same time, they carry heavy loads. They have children who are doing CXCs and CSEC and the exam. We have different names for it through the Caribbean, but leaving primary school, going into secondary school. So and they are demanding their lives and doing many things. I've done this before. So you're not the first. It's going to be application. It's going to be the will. And when we accept you to our program, we accept you to the program because by signaling to you that confidence that we have in you to complete the program. You understand? we don't have confidence in you to fail. We have confidence when we accept you. When we don't accept you, because we ain't sure. Non-acceptance means we ain't too sure how you perform. But when you get the acceptance, we are saying we are sure, we are confident that you will make it to the end.
Okay, and for those of you who are joining us, thank you for taking the time to be here with us this evening. There are two things in the chat. I'm not seeing any other questions at the moment, Dr. Greenwich. That's why I'm doing this at this point, giving them anybody a chance to post your questions or indicate that you want to speak to us already just by clicking the raise hand option on the menu. But you will notice two things in the chat. First, the exit survey. That's only going to take a couple of minutes. Grateful if you do that for us after you've attended and heard the information that it was delivered this evening. And our contact information. If after the session you have any questions that you didn't think of, that you want more detail on anything that you've heard this evening, please don't hesitate to contact us. We have the two email addresses: graduate CHSBM, that's for K-Phil School of Business and Management at kphil.ue.edu, and Ms. Thomas's email address, our AA, our admin assistant in graduate studies, who's providing the support for us here this evening, along with Jaioni James, but marla.thomas@kphil.ue.edu. And also admin support, Kendi King, and her email address is there as well. So please do not hesitate if you do have any questions to send your questions for further clarification in at those email addresses. But if you are thinking of it, there's a saying, if you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. There's a famous tagline in the Caribbean about that, I think, with the lottery. If you don't put in your application, you don't give us an opportunity to engage with you and to provide guidance as to getting into the program. 2 entry points during the academic year, one in September. Well, even though we say September, we want you to gear for the last week of August when the campus comes alive again. And there are going to be some workshops. Dr. Greenwich, are any of their workshops the week before classes begin for these programs, or those happen in the break between semester 1 and 2?
That's a very good question. Well, what we want to do this year, we want to get some primers in. We're going to provide some more information to you on that, and that may mean courses that can really, some little workshops that can help you for the program. We get back to you on that, and that may be starting just before the program starts. Our teaching starts in the first week of September. So that will be in August.
Yeah. So I want you to get in gear for those who are putting in the application to begin in September, just so that you have your sort of ducks in a row, your brain in gear that you may be engaging in late August. And we also have the entry point in January. Teaching usually begins the 3rd week of January. So similarly, there may be workshops, as Dr. Greenwich indicated, probably just the week before the formal teaching starts. So if you are interested in joining us for January, then the application is usually no later than October. I am hesitating there because sometimes it's by the middle of October, but no later than the end of October, so that we can process you to come in for January. So for our programs, June 30th is the first deadline that you're looking at for August, September, and for our January entry point, September, October for the deadline. But don't work to the deadline. Work to getting the application in as early as possible and your documents in as early as possible as well. One final comment here about entering, Dr. Greenidge. I'm an undergrad student about to complete. This is my last semester and I'm really interested in continuing my career pathway in finance. Should I send in an application even though my final exams are not yet complete?
Yes, you send the application in now. What we do again, as I said, we evaluate the strength of your application because you will send we will send your transcript as it's not completed, but we look at that, we make a determination on the trajectory, and we will say accept pending completion of the degree.
Right.
So it means that we accept you on the condition that you complete the degree.
Right. You can't be in 2 degrees at the same time. So you have to fulfill the first part and complete your degree, but you don't have to delay your application for 6 months or a year. If you are about to graduate from an undergraduate program, you can certainly put in your application for the graduate program. And as Dr. Greenidge says, you'll be processed pending the completion of that degree. Okay, Dr. Greenidge, I'm just going to scan the chats again to see if I've answered all the questions. Yes, a couple that came to me directly as well. And I don't have anything open on the Q&A.
Can we have program interest? See who's interested in which?
Oh, certainly. Can you indicate in the chat the program, because we did have 3 programs here, the program in which you're interested? If you can just put that in the chat for us.
Msc Finance and Investments, are the Msc Investment and Wealth Management.
Right, Msc Finance is proving most popular at the moment, followed by Msc Finance and Investments.
Well, see you soon. We look forward to greeting you at our school.
One last question before you run off, Dr. Greenidge. Daisy is asking about the engagement with the CFA program. How would you apply to complete the CFA program once you've completed the master's program?
Great, Daisy. Daisy, what you can actually do is that you can we'll guide you that when you join our program, because you can even start the CFA before you complete the program, right? Some of the strategies, and I noticed from talking to students who are currently, we have a couple of students who are currently MSc program, MSc Finance. Some of them are waiting to the end because they were saying to me, once they wait to the end because they have, so like for example, the quantitative methods course that we do will help them with the quantitative methods paper at level 1 and so on. So some persons opt to do it at the end, as you're asking. At the end, you just register with CFA. So you go to the CFA website, you can register with CFA and so on. However, or the other persons who are other students, we actually have 1 or 2 students who are actually doing the program as they go through our program. Hope I answered your question, Daisy.
And while I did not see this as a question, Dr. Greenidge, if somebody outside the program wanted to access the workshops, could they?
Yes, you can. There are anything on our program you can access, but you do it through our partner, our sister on the campus, Center for Professional Development and Lifelong Learning, CPDLL. I do it through the Center for Professional Development and Lifelong Learning on the campus. You can register with them, and you can do any of the courses here or the workshops through them without joining the program.
Right. So I just wanted to get that plug in there as well. So you do have options. There's great flexibility. If you're just getting some information while you're gathering everything in place, and maybe 2022 is not your year, but 2023 is, you don't have to delay. You can join one of the workshops through, like we said, one of the elements through CPDLL or Center for Professional Development and Lifelong Learning. Get a taste of it for those, and spread the word for those who may have already completed a few years ago and want to retool, want to just get rejuvenated, see what is happening in the field, see what's currently happening in the field. You can come back and you don't have to do the whole program again, but you can pick and choose the elements that you may want to do. So the Center for Professional Development and Lifelong Learning is the partner institute running alongside the Cayfield School of Business and Management, providing shorter programs and providing access to a lot of the elements that you're seeing here. So there are no further questions. Dr. Greenidge, I want to thank you for taking the time out. I can almost imagine, I know your day is not finished as yet, so thank you for taking the time out to engage with us. Thank you, the participants, for taking the time out this, I don't even know what day of week it is. Are we on Wednesday? We are on Wednesday, hump day, the middle of the week, coming in and just engaging with us for this finance suite that we are offering here at the Cayfield School of Business and Management. To our administrative support team, Marla and Jayoni, as usual, thank you very much. And I want to wish you all a good evening. Stay safe. Please, if you've not yet filled out the exit survey, Marla, if you don't mind reposting that, so it's the last thing in the chat. Please fill out the exit survey and you will have the information to reach us as well. So again, thank you for coming and good night. Good night, Dr. Greenidge, Johnny, Marla. Good night, participants.
Prime Minister, in terms of measurability, Mia Motley left Guyana with 10,000 jobs. Would it not have been better to go to Guyana than to go to Qatar? What do you have in Guyana? Why don't go to Guyana if you want to be in Guyana? As a member of parliament in the Parliament of Trinidad, we always talk about Guyana and Barbados. If you, Prime Minister, in terms of measurability, Prime Minister, in terms of measurability,